The WNBA has seen a surge in viewership and ratings in 2024, largely due to Caitlin Clark's arrival and her stellar rookie season. The former Iowa superstar has helped elevate the league, but her comments also shed light on some of the challenges the NBA has faced recently, particularly a noticeable dip in viewership. According to an NBA official statement, the league struggled with lower ratings in recent years, with 4 of the least-watched NBA finals in the past decade occurring in the last 4 seasons. This decline in cable viewership is not unique to the league, as virtually all sports are experiencing similar decreases. However, NBA viewership is only down 3% compared to last year, as opposed to the -18% reported last month. Numerous factors contribute to year-over-year changes, including a 13% decline in cable viewership compared to last year. In an appearance on the New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce podcast, Caitlin Clark offered her thoughts on the decline in NBA ratings. One of her observations was that casual basketball fans often don't appreciate just how skilled NBA players are. "I feel like the average basketball fan doesn't understand how good NBA players are and they think they're not trying. I promise you, they're trying. They're just so good it looks like they're not trying." Clark also weighed in on the evolving style of play in the NBA, suggesting that the physicality of the game has changed. "The physicality of the league has changed a lot," she added. "I wasn't around when it was much more physical. Maybe people want more beef and physicality and people think play has gone soft. I think the skill has just changed. It's gonna be different than when MJ played. It's gonna be different in 10 years than it is now." Clark also identified competition from football as another key factor contributing to the NBA's struggles with viewership. "It's competing against a lot of football right now," she noted. "You have to take that into consideration. Football is just America's favorite thing." Newly appointed as head coach of the Indiana Fever, White is preparing to take charge and her ambitions for next season are clear. Clark, who was named Times Athlete of the Year, had a stellar debut season in the WNBA. The 22-year-old swept up awards and records as she was voted Rookie of the Year along with setting the single-season and single-game records in assists, setting a new rookie scoring record and becoming the first rookie to achieve a triple-double. Clark's fine individual campaign helped the Fever reach the playoffs for the first time since 2016, but that was not enough for ex-head coach Christy Sides to keep her job. The Fever fired Sides in October and replaced her with the 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year, Stephane White, who was previously the head coach of the Connecticut Sun. White has made clear what she expects of Clark in their bid to become champions. "She adjusted really quickly to this league, unbelievably quickly. And now it's about becoming not just a great player but a great leader for this team, so we can win not just a championship but championships," White said on the Coaching You podcast. The 47-year-old head coach stressed that Clark's improvement on the court is just as important as improving off the court too, and revealed what her and Clark spoke about in their first conversation. "She's a great player, she's a high IQ player," White said. "My first conversation with her the other day about X's and O's was like, well, how do you want to improve? And then we'll talk about how we want to do that. And then I talk about how we can use her and help her but more efficient and more effective in general." White was also a WNBA player, with 5 years in the league, and also explained that she understands the pressures these young players are facing and claims she can help the likes of Clark with her experience. "Just being there to help her navigate some of the things she's navigating is something I'm happy to be able to do," the 47-year-old said. "I don't think that any one of us can understand what she goes through on a daily basis. She carries a heavy load with our league and with her abilities and her popularity. She's like Taylor Swift 2.0. So just being someone who's been a player in this league and someone who's navigated some of the things, not all of the things, but some of the things she's going through, and being a resource for her, will hopefully help." White has already started her duties and is returning to familiar surroundings as she served on the Fever's coaching staff from 2011 to 2016, with the last 2 years as the head coach. Clark will return to action in the upcoming WNBA season, which starts in May, and will hope to make it back-to-back playoff appearances for her and the Fever. More than $1 million for 10 weeks of work. In Miami. In January. That's what the upstart Unrivaled League was ready to offer Caitlin Clark to come play for them and bring the eyes that follow her everywhere. But the Indiana Fever guard, after coming straight from a championship appearance with Iowa to a successful Rookie of the Year campaign, turned the offer down. It would have been a win-win for both sides, but is the Nafisa Collier-Brianna Stewart-founded league holding a grudge? Alex Basil, Collier's husband and also the president of Unrivaled, is clearing the air. In a recent appearance on Good Game with Sarah Spain, Basil talks about the league going strong after CC to recruit her. Was he disappointed that she rejected them? Spain had asked, but Basil was generous and said that would be a strong word to use. At the same time, anyone who is in our shoes would 100% want Caitlin. It's clear the kind of numbers she brings, it's an outlier. When Spain discusses how Clark's insane passing skills would work perfectly in the 3x3 format, Basil agrees. She's really built for this style. She's the perfect hybrid of speed, she's much faster than people think, and she can shoot it from deep, which stretches out the court even more in this system. But the league execs also understood the importance of resting and recovering. Basil is, after all, a top-notch NBA and WNBA trainer. We had to find balance to give her time. She would rush from college to draft to pros, she was in conversations every day, there was never really a downtime unfortunately for her. She also just wanted this off-season to take a break, which we get. So what now? If you ask us what's the plan moving forward, I've said this multiple times, we're gonna be a league that always has a spot for Caitlin. We're very hopeful that she wants to play in the league after seeing this season and resting. For now, unfortunately, she's not in the league, but the hope is that the Iowa sensation will join in season 2 or 3. At first, there were only going to be 30 spots on the Unrivaled roster, but they slowly expanded to 36. With 2 spots still remaining open as they recruited Caitlin Clark's former college friends and current Fever teammates, the Roddy handed in her firm rejection. But the league still filled up with players like Angel Reese and Lexi Hull. However, some major names were missing. Asia Wilson, the 2024 MVP, rejected the lucrative offer made to her as well, but reportedly, she was not interested in playing the 3x3 format and prefers 5x5. The Aces star was also not interested in playing a full year, per some reports. Liberty's Jonquil Jones also opted out of Unrivaled, instead playing for the Sichuan Yuanda in the Women's Chinese Basketball Association. Another missing name is Kelsey Plum, who had originally said yes but later pulled out to take a break from basketball this offseason. While the WNBA has a total of 132 active players, only 36 are playing in Unrivaled. While of course that leave almost 100 names not playing, this is just a roundup of some major names. Lexi Hull and Caitlin Clark have been one fun duo to watch. Sure, the latter's brilliant assists to Hull make a compelling case, but their off-court chemistry has been just as entertaining. Taking to a par 3 contest, reviewing some fun fruit drinks, or cackling as Clark assumed the role of a baseball commentator for a minute, the 2 Indiana Fever teammates have had their share of viral moments. But, as Hull heads to partner up with CC's biggest rival in the new 3x3 league, she has just thrown a playful curveball, cutting down one of Clark's lifelong dreams. Clark has always been big on dreams. While she's draining threes, she's also been harboring a sweet and smoky dream of opening her own restaurant. But is she cut out for it? Well, the 2022 draftee seems to think otherwise. During a fun little game of start, bench, cut in an interview with Winsider, the Fever star was asked to evaluate Clark's hypothetical ventures: food critic, golfer, and baseball commentator. After a hearty laugh, she said, "Cut as a food critic. Looks like the baller doesn't think her new bestie has the taste buds to back her culinary ambitions." But you know the 2024 Roddy isn't just dreaming about a food venture, she's been planning it for years. On a podcast with her former Iowa Hawkeyes teammates, she spilled the beans about her childhood aspiration. "I always wanted to open a restaurant or coffee shop," she revealed. "There was this random open lot, and I told my mom I was going to call it the Rib Crib. Barbecue ribs and all that good stuff." CC even confessed to being heartbroken when the lot got turned into a retirement home. "That was my lot," she laughed. But Caitlin's culinary dream isn't dead yet. "Hopefully, one day, maybe I'll have a coffee shop or a restaurant," she said. For now, though, she got bigger fish to fry. But now, Hull and Reese are teaming up for Rose BC and Unrivaled. This star-studded squad also features Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Sykes, and Azura Stevens. and the drama is stirring among fans. Indiana supporters are caught in a tricky spot. If they cheer for Hull, they're inadvertently backing Reese. Like the WNBA Season 2. The Stanford alumna also has her eyes set on one goal for 2025, not just making the playoffs but winning a game. Getting there was great, but getting there and winning is the goal. It's always the goal, she said. After a solid 2024 season, Hull is looking to improve her consistency in finishing, which could be key for the Fever as they build on their progress. Last season, Clark and Hull were critical in snapping the Fever's 7-year playoff drought. With their chemistry clicking, the team finished with a 20-20 record. Unfortunately, their playoff run was short-lived, ending in the first round. Now, Hull is sharpening her skills in Unrivaled, while Clark trains with her new coach, Stephanie White, to gear up for her second season. But before that, get ready to witness a surprising on-court partnership. While Unrivaled has plenty of buzzworthy storylines, one pairing has everyone talking: Lexi Hull and Angel Reese. Yes, the Chicago Sky star who's been Caitlin Clark's biggest rival since their college days. From NCAA title game taunts to fierce WNBA showdowns, their rivalry has been filled with must-watch moments. While viewership was down at the start of the season due to a variety of factors like the Yankees-Dodgers World Series, the presidential election and some injuries to key star players, and a double-digit decline in overall cable viewership growth is seen as the season has progressed. Leading into Christmas Day, NBA viewership increased every week of December, with an average week-over-week increase of 7%. The NBA games consistently rank as the most viewed cable programs among the most coveted audiences. Streaming now accounts for nearly half, 42%, of all TV consumption. The NBA is addressing this change in consumption habits with new media deals, as every national game will be available on a streaming service beginning next season. The league is also increasing the number of regular season games on broadcast TV from 15 to 75. And getting in foul trouble early didn't help. Clark picked up 3 fouls in the first half. In one sequence with 5:53 remaining in the first quarter, Clark missed 2 free throws, fouled the Aces' Tiffany Hayes on the other side of the floor, and then was called for a technical foul after she hit the side of the stanchion in frustration. It marked Clark's 6th technical foul of the season. Clark's next technical foul in the regular season will earn her a 1-game suspension. To make matters worse, the Fever lost forward Aaliyah Boston for a while. She headed back to the locker room with 1:22 remaining in the first quarter after taking an elbow to the face. Boston returned halfway through the second quarter. The Fever scored 13 points in the first quarter, matching their season low. Despite the shooting woes, the Fever were only trailing the Aces by 8 points due to Kelsey Mitchell's efforts. Mitchell single-handedly kept the Fever in the game with 19 first-half points. She was the only Fever player to score more than 5 points.